In the previous video, we put the linkage pins in, and now we're going to move on to our cow catcher on the front. I've created a part studio for this already. I'm opening it up, and I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm going to place it on my top plane. I'm going to grab my line tool, and I'm going to make a 1.8 inch line. Now, I want to dimension this line so we're centered from the edge to the center point here. Half of that, so it's centered, is 0.9. I'm then going to grab my line tool, and on each side I'm going to go up 0.25 inches. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my point tool. I don't think that line is straight, so I'm going to delete that line off and make sure that it's straight. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do a line that's 0.25 inches. There we go. I'm going to come up here and grab my point. I'm going to put one right down in the center there. And I'm going to dimension that to the start here, 1 inch. I'm going to grab my line tool and I'm going to connect to this point. And from there to here, which gives me that base for that cow catcher. I'm going to close out of this sketch at this point and leave this sketch alone. So what we're going to do now is we're going to gain perspective, and we're going to place a plane down. And we're going to place that plane down on the top, and the height of this part is 0.75 inches, so I'm going to offset that plane 0.75 inches. I'm going to come around to the top of this actually, and I'm going to place my sketch down on that plane 1. Now I'm going to go through that same process I did, but just a little bit smaller dimensions. So I'm going to draw a line, and this line is 1.2 inches. So I'm going to grab my dimension tool, and from the end to the center, I'm going to dimension this 0.6 inches. The sides of this are the same, so I'm going to go up 0.25. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, just like before, I'm going to grab that point tool. I'm going to place it right in line with the center there, and I'm going to dimension it from the top to the start of this, 0.75 inches. I'm going to grab my line tool, and I'm going to connect and connect, and then I can green check mark it, and my sketch is done. I'm going to gain perspective on this now, and I'm going to come over here to my loft function. I'm going to choose my sketch 1 and my sketch 2 to loft to, and then I'm going to green check mark that, and you can see I have that formation or that beginning of that cow catcher that we've seen. So now I'm going to come and rotate myself around on this, and I'm going to place a sketch down on this angled face right here. And what you're going to notice here, I can offset this. So I'm going to offset this outer hexagonal shape, and I'm going to change it inside, and the amount that I'm going to offset it from the side. So what I'm basically doing is 0.1, allowing me to copy that shape that's on the exterior there. So now I can come to my extrude button, choose this face. We're going to do a removal, and it's 0.05. So that's how I get that little cutout there. Now I can do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to put that sketch down on that angled face. I'm going to come to my offset button. I'm going to choose this face. Now obviously I'm going to flip that arrow again. I'm going to change my dimension here to 0.1 offset. I can green check mark this, and then I can click my extrusion or my removal at 0.05 inches.